first up is our segment that we call our best thing of the week, right? And the 2024 Golden Globes are on the horizon. And this year's nominees are full of queer films and TV shows alike. From Billie Eilish's nomination for What Was I Made For to Colman Domingo's nod for Rustin. LGBTQ plus talent is poised to win big this year. The nominations for the 81st Golden Globe Awards were announced Monday morning, where Barbie received 9 Globe nominations, while Christopher Nolan's historical drama notched 8. But that is not it. Bradley Cooper's new film, Maestro, which centers on iconic queer composer Leonard Bernstein, picked up 4 nods. Meanwhile, Annette and Jodie Foster received acting nods for portraying swimmer Diana Nyad and her queer coach Bonnie Stoll in Nyad. Queer stars are in the much deserving spotlight this time, and I can't wait to hear It's Happening Out's hosts tell us about their favorites, who they hate, who was snubbed, and whether they like the drunken table of the stars at the Golden Globes or how hung Oscar really looks like he might be. The best thing of the week, 2024 queer nominees are out. And I like the Golden Globes better than the Oscars.
Yes, I love
What do
all
you
of
think?
it. I love all of it. It's my favorite thing ever. The Golden Globes, I missed it when it was on their little hiatus from being problematic.
It would be problematic.
Right, they're being problematic. It was terrible.
Uh-huh.
But oh my gosh, watching everybody be drunk at those ceremonies is so fun.
Right?
Because it's a party. It's not like a regular award ceremony.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm super excited about Jodie Foster finally coming back into the spotlight because, you know, she's sort of been away for a while after she kind of came out and she kind of, you know, did the thing. And I'm just glad because it was this. And she's also the lead of the new True Detective this season on HBO. So it's like, for me, that's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Just seeing her come back into the spotlight now that she's really made peace with everything.
I love
in her
that,
life.
right? But
It's
isn't that
so
also
good.
for her to get her flowers? Like, even, again, I know it's so great to be nominated, but I mean, it's a big deal
It's
to
a
get
big
nominated.
deal.
It's the mother effing Golden Globes. And for the most part, if you win a Golden Globe, you're usually set to win that Oscar.
Yes, although
Right. I mean, I don't know if that deserved an Oscar nom. At least
Nyad?
maybe not turn into a movie. Nyad,
Okay.
like I know more Cubans that have swam from Cuba to Miami in less time.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. Like, Mama Chow. You don't need a whole movie.
Yeah, well.
Well,
But
I
so
was
I-
gonna.
Go ahead.
Well, so I haven't seen the movie yet because I've
Which
been
one?
super busy. But Maestro,
Okay. Mhm.
Leonard Bernstein,
Yes.
to me, is the greatest musical genius of the second half of the 20th century. And a lot of people don't know him. He has probably been one of my greatest influences. When you think of music theory, when you think of the mind, a lot of times I have not gelled with a lot of classical minds because I'm a little bit more out of the box. But when Leonard Bernstein, I would look at his old videos that are on YouTube now and listen to him explain things, I just feel this connection to this man. In the musical theater world, he did West Side Story. There has not been a musical score before West Side Story, after West Side Story, that even comes close to the complexity and the genius that this man put out there.
Wow.
He might not have been the most savory fellow all the time, but this man is an incredible genius, and I think this should be common knowledge. I hope everybody sees it. I hope it's a great film. You know, I haven't seen it yet, but I hope everybody sees it and gets to know a little bit about a man who has influenced so much of the world.
Well, and also people that don't know Leonard Bernstein know Leonard
know him now,
Bernstein.
but
You know what
yeah.
I mean? No, but they know him by
I mean,
the
the music,
that he
absolutely,
put
absolutely, yeah,
out.
the music,
Yeah.
yeah. We talked about that later.
Iconic, you know, all the stuff. You know, and we were talking about Bradley Cooper last week, right? And about the movie, and I haven't seen it either, but I have a feeling that it's going to be fantastic. I mean, Bradley Cooper doesn't do bad shit anymore.
Exactly.
He's
He's
come a long
great.
way from that movie, The Cook or something that he
Yeah,
did a
he
billion
doesn't
years
do that
ago
anymore.
that bombed. He doesn't touch anything that's not going to be Oscar bound.
And this is
you know?
his. This is
Yeah.
his baby.
This is his baby.
Writer, producer,
Nice.
actor. Like, they actually said that it might be the first time, I think only the second time ever in Oscar history, if he wins actor and writer, that's ever happened.
Really?
So, like,
He won't.
and they
He
said that
won't,
he's
but
actually...
it will be
he might,
amazing.
though. He's pretty enough to win.
But let's also give as y'all have those moments. Let me have my wonderful moment.
Yeah.
Color Purple. Miss, how do we nominate Fantasia? How do we nominate Danielle? How do we miss Colman like Mr.? How do we not give him his Golden Globe? I mean, kudos for Rustin. He did get one in Rustin.
One, but
One.
he deserves
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh my
One.
gosh.
One. I consider that a snub.
this-
I'm
but
sorry.
I don't know.
The same
That's
thing
Rustin is
happened
a
with-
snub.
the same happened
Color
with
Purple
Barbie,
is
though.
a snub.
Too.
And so, but I think those are the snubs. But let's also highlight Wanda Sykes for getting her. Trevor, no, I still think Trevor's one of us. And so I love that they gave him a whole Trevor's one of us.
No, I feel that too.
And that's also look
I
at.
do, Trevor. It's cool color.
And let me tell you, all day, Trevor. Call us. We got plans for you. And I also like that they acknowledge a whole category on sales, where it truly shows that the people that they're listening to the people. If we all went to the movies, let's highlight these wonderful theater expressions, and let's give them a chance.
I'm
to be
okay with
seen.
that. Yeah.
You know, so that part. And one more thing that I want again, let's bring back out there. How did we forget Color Purple? The people who acted in the scenes and not get the movie.
You haven't seen it, girl. You haven't seen it.
Oh, no, and again, there's predictions that have said that because The Color Purple came out when it came right at the end of the possibilities of being even considered for the Oscars and the Golden Globes. So they might have done a very smart thing, and they'll probably be in the running for it next year as well, because I agree with you. How can you not?
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, the Oscar, so the Golden Globes traditionally has not been that great with anything black. It's just a fact. Like, that's why they got in trouble in the first place.
With that issue with diversity, absolutely.
Literally, the fact of the diversity of these nominees, I was like, oh, this is actually very different than what they're used to.
Like night and day.
But what I found interesting about The Color Purple is that it actually, unlike it not getting the nomination for Best Musical, like that one, everything else very much parallels the Tony nominations, because no men got nominated for the Tonys either for it. And I think a lot of it is because the women in the movie and the women in the show are so larger than life that it completely overshadows the male roles.
I'm gonna flip that on you. I agree with you. But how Fantasia got from musical comedy, but Danielle got from actual movie, like the movie experience. But Danielle's a Tony girl. I mean, both of them were Tony girls, and so I think that we're not giving Fantasia her due, and that's and that's my problem. Like, let's give her her flowers while we're able to for overcoming everything that she's done, like her acting chops. And Taraji, who has played Trug.
Talk more about this.
You're right.
Later,
Okay,
so please don't
I'm sorry.
talk about that now.
I thought you were gonna tell me shut up, bitch.
Let's talk more. Let's talk more snubs. Snub, LGBTQ or queer, Nimona.
That movie, the animated movie.
Okay, a lot of people were talking about it.
A lot of people were talking about it, but I mean,
tell me how you say it.
Nimona.
Okay.
But the problem is that this is part of the world of like Netflix movies, and that this is no like slight to Netflix movies, but like movies produced by Netflix, unfortunately, they're seen as almost like second tier, and that's a problem. And I mean, I don't think it's right, but I think that's
people who have Androids.
Exactly. That's
they're considered on the Emmy side, you're saying, right?
Well, no, it's not even that they're considered on the Emmy side. It's just the cinematic world, right? They've just now recently started acknowledging like Netflix
movies,
Amazon,
even
like
being viable for an Oscar.
Right.
Yeah.
So the animated movies, they still have got a long way to go, because and I'm not saying it's not a good movie, because it is a really good movie, but it's different. The tier structure is different. And once again, I tell any person watching this, remember, the Golden Globes is literally 300 people.
And 300,
that's all it is.
Exactly.
So don't read too much into this. It doesn't mean the things that you love are not valid, because we're talking about 300 film critics around the world.
Listen, The Little Mermaid. Nothing. Nothing. So a lot of.
But did you expect something? See, this is the thing. This is the thing about
Boo-boo. I've seen some of the musicals. I've seen some of the musicals that have gotten nominated over the years, and some of them were not even as good as.
We got to think about it. They gave us some diversity. They was like, they can't give Halle. They can't give too many black women.
What did I say when I started?
You're absolutely right.
Yep.
Well, it's not. I mean, look, I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm not just gonna like screech if I haven't even seen it yet. Like, you're talking about people who haven't been nominated, or The Color Purple that hasn't been nominated, but like, we haven't seen it. What if it was shit, bitch?
Like The Last of Us got nominated for everything, and they deserve it.
No, but they got that one scene.
Wait. Let's be very clear,
he got one, and the movie.
The Last of Us got nominated for everything, except for the two men that played the most important.
No. One got nominated.
They should have both been nominated for their role in that, because
I agree with you.
It's literally considered now, like when the film critics are there, it's already been called one of the greatest TV episodes in history.
Yeah.
So
not even like queer.
That's so sweet.
Greatest.
Yeah.
They should have both been nominated for that.
Well, and they weren't, and unfortunately that was one episode of the whole entire season. You know what I mean? I mean, how are you going to give it to that guy and not give it to Pedro? I mean, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? So anyway, we will be looking forward to the Golden Globe Awards when it does happen, and we'll bring you all the winners and all the losers. And of course, we'll have our opinion on it, because of course, if ours doesn't win, we're going to be mad.
Yeah, mostly because of percentages. But
and again, 300 people. Don't forget, Auntie Mame said it's 300 people, all right? All right.